today's training. Oh, she's going to be a good one today. So today we are talking about from excuses to action. So we're really going to be talking about mastering self-accountability and discipline. Today's live training is going to be identifying that gap between where you are and where you want to be. At the end of today's training, you should be able to stop relying on motivation, recognizing your excuse patterns, take ownership of your results, and leave with a simple, clear action plan. Who's ready for some fun? Where's my little arrow? Is it gonna move? There we go. There we go. All right, so let's get into the science first, ladies. So the brain's excuse factory. Your brain is wired to protect you, but that protection comes at a cost. When you make an excuse, your brain releases a feel-good chemical and offering a temporary reward. So avoiding challenges actually feels good, right? And so I want you to think about a few different things here. The survival mechanism. So this excuse-making department of the brain is an ancient instinctive inherited from your ancestors. It was useful then, but it is a barrier to growth today. And the hidden cost is every time that you dodge a responsibility, you reinforce this habit, making it even easier and easier every single time to avoid the next challenge. Your brain is designed to save energy, to save calories. I want you to think of your brain as like a selfish toddler. It wants to keep all the toys to itself. And we recognize that that's not always conducive to our goals, right? Where it doesn't want to expend those calories. And so our brains, when we think about, oh, I got to go work out, your brain's like, oh, I have to spend calories, or even like think about spending money. I have to spend to do that. So I don't want to do that. But then we know logically, when we leave the workout, we are filled with endorphins. We feel so good. We feel so accomplished. But your brain tries to trick you every single time. So the neural shortcut to self-justification. Every excuse that you make rewires your brain. Every single time that you give in, we are making a deeper pathway that makes avoiding responsibility just feel natural, feel automatic. It becomes a habit. The longer this cycle runs, the harder it becomes to break, but it is breakable. And you can think about this in terms of like when you're consistently working out. And then if you miss a few workouts, it becomes easier to miss the next one. And then you miss a week, and then you miss a month, and then it's a few years in. You're like, oh my goodness, I haven't been prioritizing my health, right? It becomes this ripple effect because we are strengthening that neural pathway. Amplified avoidance. So repeated excuses strengthens your brain's ability to dodge challenges. And muffled wins, the same habit that turns down the volume of your successes, make them feel less significant over time. The path of least resistance. Your brain always seeks the easiest route. The question is, are you going to let it choose for you? Accountability lights up your brain. When you stop making excuses and fully embrace accountability, something powerful happens neurologically. Your prefrontal cortex, the part of the brain that commands decision-making, goal-setting, and focus, activates and takes lead. So this is the biological birthplace of true growth and lasting achievement. So it is responsible for your decision-making, your goal focus, your problem solving, your self-control, your emotional regulation. So the more that you give in to your excuses, the more that this part of your brain is, you want to think of it, shrinking. It's not getting activated, it's not strengthening, and thus it's not going to get as much blood flow. It's not going to grow, it's not going to evolve, right? So we're going to break this cycle, okay? We're going to break the excuse cycle. So first, we need to identify our triggers, recognizing the specific situations, emotions, the thought patterns that spark your excuse-making habits. Number two, we're going to challenge your narrative. So ask yourself, is this an objective fact or a convenient justification? Most excuses will crumble under honest scrutiny. And number 3, we need to embrace discomfort. I don't know if you guys have heard of Yes Theory. They're a really amazing YouTube channel, and their slogan is seek discomfort. And I cannot resonate more that the more that you seek discomfort or embrace discomfort and put yourself in uncomfortable situations, the more that you grow, the more that you evolve, the more that these things become effortless. Growth does not live inside your comfort zone. Leaning into difficulty is where the real change happens, right? And the same thing with when we're working out. If you're getting through your reps and it's just easy peasy lemon squeezy, we're wasting our time. We want to train to failure, where that last 1 to 2 repetitions, you're like, oh, it's not happening. That is where change happens, not in the easy zone. Building unshakable discipline. Discipline isn't about punishment. It's about training yourself to do what needs to be done, especially when motivation runs dry. So number 1, start small. Let's build consistent micro habits that create daily momentum. Progress compounds over time, right? Like we talk about 1% better, progress over perfection. Number 2, showing up consistently. Discipline is built through repetition, just like in the gym, through the repetitions that we're putting in, not just intensity. Consistency is going to beat sporadic bursts of effort every single time. And number 3, trust the process. Results lag behind effort. Stay committed even when the progress is invisible. This is a lifelong commitment, ladies. Overcoming some common excuses. So these are probably the top 3 that I hear on a daily basis. Number 1, I don't have time. Let's reframe. I make time for what I prioritize. I don't need a full workout. I just need to do something. I'm too tired. I have energy for what I prioritize. Doing something will actually give me more energy than doing nothing. And number 3, I have no motivation. I understand that motivation ebbs and flows. I need better systems, not more motivation. All right, this is where all the good stuff is. So the excuse reframe method. This is where we're going to have a nice systemized action plan. So number 1, call out the truth. Skip the emotion and get honest with yourself. Replace the excuse with what's actually happening here. So I don't have time might actually mean I didn't make it a priority. I'm too tired might actually mean I'm choosing comfort over commitment right now. And I have no motivation might just mean I just don't feel like doing it. Number 2, let's take ownership. Shift from being a victim to being in control. So we're going to add, I am choosing, I created, I allowed. Some examples. I am choosing comfort over progress right now. I allowed my day to get away from me. I am choosing to delay this. Number 3, lower the bar, which we talk a lot about in this program, is when things feel overwhelming, let's create smaller steps to get to the goal, right? So this is where most people fail. Replace the all or nothing with something over nothing at all. So full workout, maybe that's showing up for 10 minutes. 10K steps, maybe that's getting consistent 5K steps. A perfect meal, maybe that's just making better choices. And say, I don't need to do it perfectly, I just need to show up. And then act immediately. Kill overthinking. Think of a rocket ship. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and burst. Go. Put your shoes on. Start the timer. Do the first set. Action kills excuses every single time. Fuck your mood, girls. Follow the plan. That is the only way to make this work. You cannot follow your mood because, as we know, our moods fluctuate. But the plan always stays consistent. So follow the plan and you will set yourself up for success. Any questions? Stop sharing my screen with you, ladies.
Okay, I have one.
Woohoo! Let's go. How's it going, Miss Pamela?
It's good. Thank you very much, Lucy.
Good.
Okay, I guess I didn't start properly to begin with, and I find it very overwhelming with all the things we have to do daily. And you take any one of those things and they take like 2 seconds. They're like, but when you get to the end of the day and you realize, oh God, what did I eat? What did I do? I find that difficult to do. So I need a better plan to do that.
Yeah, so personally, I'm not one to leave things to the end of the day because I know that for myself personally, and everyone's gonna be a little bit different in terms of where their energy is highest, what time of day is gonna work best for them, their schedules, etc. I personally, by the end of the day, like my brain shut off. Like I have no more mental cognitive. I want to be away from the screens. I'm on a screen all day. So for me, that doesn't set me up for success. So I'm not gonna track all my food at the end of the day. That's not, and I'm not gonna remember what I ate all day. So I think the number one thing that's like that sets you up for the most success is planning ahead of time. But if that's not doable for you, then it's tracking along the way. So it's tracking throughout the day, knowing exactly what you eat. And something we were talking about with Heather earlier at the beginning of the call was she's been having a Greek yogurt parfait for breakfast or for lunch every day at work, and it's super satiating, it's delicious, it's high in fiber, it's high in protein, it's easy, and it's easy to take to work. And so we don't need to switch things every single week because that just makes things more complicated. So if we find something that works, keep it in the routine. We don't need a new meal plan every single week. And honestly, like the people that see the most success typically follow the same thing, eat the same thing every single day because it takes away all that mental work so that you know exactly what you're eating. You already know how much you're eating, and you know with that, without fail, you're going to set yourself up for success with hitting your calories, your protein, and your fiber. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does. I do try to write the stuff down as I go, and
Mm-hmm.
sometimes I do get it done, but there are other times when all of a sudden it's 9 o'clock. Oh God, what did I have today? Or I
Yeah.
realized I didn't do yesterday's, and I think, what did I have
So
yesterday?
for myself, like I don't get to the end of the day where things don't get tracked. So it's like it's creating that non-negotiable with yourself. So for me, what works best for me is while I'm making the food or
Mm-hmm.
while I'm eating the food, I'm tracking it. And so that is my like non-negotiable, that is my disciplined rule that if I'm making it or if I'm eating it, that's when I'm tracking it. So that it's habit stacked, right? And so you
Yeah.
want to think of that like if I'm doing A, then B, right? Versus if it's like, okay, A, and then maybe B's over here and then over C, and then it's just like all not a right system, right? So you're always going to rise to the level of your systems. And if we don't have a strong system in place, that's where we end up in the situation of going, oh man, I forgot yesterday, or oh, it's the end of the day, I don't want to track, I don't remember. Like, so finding these systems. So some people will track the night before for their day ahead, or they'll track it the morning of. So really having a structured meal plan, a structured game plan of knowing exactly what you're going to eat throughout the day. And if you can keep that similar, where you know you're going to stay within your calories, you know you're going to hit your protein, you know you're going to hit your fiber, then you save those as meals. So that it's so easy and effortless for you to just re-add it, and you don't have to add each and every single ingredient. And then if one thing changes, let's say you have like 150 grams of ground beef one day, but then you have 170 the next day, then it's just a quick, simple switch versus having to add everything and change everything along the way. Does that make sense?
Yes. How do you save your meals?
So if you go into MyFitnessPal,
Yeah.
wherever you have like your food log, so let's say like under breakfast today, and then say you're gonna have the same breakfast again tomorrow, in the bottom right corner of that like section, there's gonna be three little dots. And then you hit those three little dots and it's going to say save as a meal. And then you can title it and you can write eggs and toast. You could take a photo of it. I'm a very visual person. So like in my saved meals, it sucks that I'm live on my computer, so I can't screen share with you guys right now. But in my saved meals, basically like when you go to add a food, I don't know if it'll let you see this. You see my meals here.
Yeah.
So that's where I'm going to find all my saved meals.
Okay.
Um, After I save them, obviously, but under my meals, then you'll see it's very visual. So then everything I just take a photo of. So,
Okay.
so then the next time, so like this is a really big game changer for bulk recipes. So let's say you make a big stew or a big chili, then I'll have all of the ingredients listed there. And let's say like the next time I make a stew, one time I used, 500 grams of stewing beef. The next time I use 700 grams, then I can just go into that recipe and change one item versus having to add every single item. And then I'll
Right.
divide the entire recipe by the amount of serving sizes that that comes from that, if that makes sense.
Okay. Yeah, that does.
Um, but if you have any other questions or concerns on meals or how to save it, if you're not figuring that out, shoot me a direct message and I'll send you over a video going through every single step as well.
Okay.
Any other questions, Miss Pamela? Good question.
No, what I usually like to do is go back when you post this conversation, then I like to go back and go through it again because you go so fast that it's really I can't even take notes. It's too fast to take notes.
I will also upload the slideshow to the weekly live replays too, so I'll have all the resources there as well. Does that sound
Okay.
good?
Okay, yeah.
Amazing, amazing. Miss Lisa, do we have a question? I saw we unmuted there.
Um, yeah, I did, and now I forgot. But I am almost finished my protein shake.
Ooh, I love it. The positive peer pressure. I love it.
It's been a bit of a crazy weekend, and it's funny. Here's what I find funny with the discipline aspect. I do my workouts without fail.
Mhm.
I might shift them a day just because of schedules. And like when I left on Saturday, I shortened it a bit. I didn't do my endurance run, but I made sure I got everything else in because I needed to get on the road. But those, I have no problem making those non-negotiable.
Mhm.
I have trouble making my meal plans non-negotiable.
Mm. So where do you find you struggle the most when it comes to your meal plan? Is it that we're creating a meal plan that is not sustainable, that we don't look forward to, that like where do we struggle the most?
I I've been pondering this for a while since we last talked about meal plans, to be honest, and I can't pinpoint it because my meal plans are based on like previous week's meal plans. It's what I normally eat. It's what my go-tos are. But
Hmm.
sometimes it's just like I don't have the ingredients today. I don't have the time to go shopping, and okay, I'll just wing it. And then it slides like in one of your slides. And I'm like Pamela. I need to go back and take some notes because I was in the middle of making shakes, so I missed part of it. Um, but it was like I miss 1 or 2 days of my meal plan, and then it's just easy to let the rest of the week go. And
So what
it doesn't
ingredients?
feel intentional, but it's
Mhm.
obviously intentional. So
I think it's not as much intentional as it is the systems, right? If we don't have the right systems in place, then we're not going to ourselves up for success. So two things here. When we're creating our meal plan with ChatGPT, I would also, if you don't already, make it give you an exact number of everything that you need ingredients wise for the week. And if fresh produce doesn't last the entire week, then you're going to schedule in a day throughout the week where it's like, okay, I've got 3 to 4 days worth of meal prep on that fourth day or fifth day. Then I'm making a quick grocery haul run or Desert Hills run, etc., grabbing what I need so that I can prep for the next 3 to 4 days. So we don't want to, like, I personally don't prep for a whole week, like, because again, like, things aren't good for that long, right? So it's like a 3 to 4 day period of meal plan. Your 3 to 4 days where you have everything prepped and ready to go, and using the grocery list of knowing exactly how much of everything you need to pick up. Like, I remember I worked with a coach before, and my like meal plan was like you have to pick up 7 pears, like Bartlett pears, and you need 5 pieces of cucumber, and like it was just like very specific as to how many I need to grab. So then when I was planning my week or like eating throughout the day, it's like, okay, I know I have 5 pears. I need to eat these 5 pears in these 5 days. Otherwise, my produce is going to go bad, right? And so having exact numbers and going, okay, I need to eat this by this day, and know exactly how much you need to eat every day and have it on deck. Another option is also having like some canned or frozen vegetables or fruits on the back burner as well for those days where we might be in between groceries or things just go on accordingly as well. So like having frozen raspberries, blueberries, avocado, sweet potatoes, stuff like that, where there can be high fiber, can be another option to boost the fiber as well on those unpredictable days where they're just sitting in the freezer and there for backup.
yeah, that sounds good. So it's and then again, like so tomorrow, and now I think some of it right now is I've just been thinking, got to get through the next few days, got to get through the next few days with everything that's been going on.
Hmm.
And then now, so I just got back from being down on the coast, got my tattoos done, which I have been stoked to get for like
Oh, they
over a
look
month.
so good. So good.
They look like trash right now because they're underneath second skin and they're just seeping everywhere. But I'm so stoked. She did such a fantastic
Oh,
job on them. I'm so happy with them. And
incredible
then,
artist.
oh, she is incredible. And she hand drew the stencils.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, those are
Wow.
hand drawn. And the chickadee, she hand sketched it from a picture while she was doing it on my leg. Um,
What?
so yeah, incredible. Oh yeah, because she was the original picture was different from what I wanted, and I wanted to change the coloring, so she just had a picture and she changed the coloring on the fly as she was tattooing.
Wow.
Great.
Oh, I love
But and then with changing jobs, I think some of it was a lot of stress with trying to make sure everything was buttoned up, and it's like it's like I only had bandwidth for five things going, and then I added on a sixth thing, and then something dropped off the end. 10 little monkeys jumping on the bed, right?
that.
So,
Totally.
add another monkey and something would fall off the end of the bed. So I just feel like I'm constantly picking things up and putting them back at the beginning, and then things are
Hmm.
falling off the end again.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. I totally hear
My
you on
whole
that
life
one.
is like that.
I
Sorry.
think
so
everyone
I'm
on this call
hoping,
can resonate with that. That's a good
yeah.
analogy.
So, yeah. And I'm hoping that with starting my new position and at least getting that started where it's not this big unknown will be a little bit of a relief of that. Oh my God, what's happening next?
Hmm.
So
Yeah,
like I said, I
totally.
just feel like I have so many little balls in the air and I keep dropping them. So
She's juggling. She's juggling, and then people keep
keep
tossing her another
juggling.
ball. She's like, I can only juggle three. Now I'm juggling four. Like, wait.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, yeah,
So
I think that's very relatable, and I think everyone can resonate with that feeling, and you're definitely not alone, and it can feel super overwhelming. So I think it really comes down to grounding yourself in both your why and your non-negotiables. So it's like, okay, when life gets chaotic, what are the things that without fail are always going to be prioritized? So for one, like you already have workouts established under your belt, they happen no matter what, right? So noticing that you can prioritize things and make them a non-negotiable even when life gets chaotic. It's just a matter of learning this new systems to help set you up for success, right? And so when we're noticing, okay, when life gets chaotic, this ball gets dropped, what do I need to change in my systems so that in the future I am set up for success? So it's again like having those options like, okay, in the future, if I drop the ball, I've got frozen fruits and vegetables in my freezer that I can lean on. I can make a smoothie, I can make whatever from that, right? So I know I have backup options if for whatever reason my systems or life gets chaotic. I have a system in place that I can lean on that's setting me up for success. Maybe it's having protein powder in the cupboard, right? Having some different options that when life gets chaotic, we still have some things to lean on that aren't going to require you to go outside and go to the grocery store or whatever the obstacles may be when they come up, right?
yeah, that makes sense. And I will say I feel a lot more focused now that I've actually had my protein shake.
Yes! I'm so happy to hear that. Food is fuel, ladies. And when we are undernourishing ourselves, especially on protein, we are going to notice life is so much harder to navigate. All those balls or monkeys that we're juggling, like it feels so much more chaotic when we are undernourished because your body is just trying to like get its organs running, but we don't have enough fuel. So it doesn't have enough fuel for the thinking process and doing all the things. So number one is like prioritize nourishing yourself because if our nutrition isn't being prioritized, everything else fails because then our mental health is going under and then our mood is going under and then other things start getting skipped and then we start to fall off and then it starts to become that snowball effect in the opposite direction towards our desired results. Does that make sense?
Yes. Yeah. I heard something that what you said, and it was, oh, let me see if I can remember what it is because I loved it. It was eating is easy, nourishing is hard, and dieting is impossible.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I love that. I love it. It's so true. And like that's why it's like I don't like to call anything a diet. You couldn't catch me on a diet. Like restrictive behaviors don't set you up for success because they're not long-term achievable, they're not long-lasting, and then they end up pushing you back because if you feel like you can't have something and you deprive yourself for a certain period, when you get to a point where your emotions are getting in the way, your mood gets in the way, then that's when a binge happens. That's where we fall off, right? And so finding systems that set you up for success where we're creating meal plans that are foods that we enjoy, creating that 80-20 balance, making sure that when we're going into ChatGPT that we're not just like creating this like perfect meal plan and chicken and rice and broccoli and like things that you're like, again, like I'm not hating, I love chicken, rice and broccoli, but like making things that you look forward to, right? And making room for things that you enjoy. And so one way that I do this is when you're looking at your overall calories for the day, multiply that by 20%. So like brief example here, if let's say your caloric goal is 1700 calories, 20% of that is 340 calories. So 80% of that, all the bulk of your meals are coming from nutrient-dense, whole source foods, high protein, high fiber, etc., right? 340, you've got 340 calories or dollars that you can spend in a day that is just towards joyful foods, things that are not qualified as a nutrient-dense whole food. And that's how I create a balanced approach where it doesn't feel restricted, where I don't find myself binging on the weekend because I feel so restricted from the week that I'm just like trying to get everything in. I have that 20% every single day, right? And so for me, like, yeah, it's a game changer. It's absolute. So for me, like my like guilty pleasure is a plate of melted cheese. Like my mom, she used to have Triscuits and she'd put a slice of melted cheese, or she'd put a slice of cheese and melt it. And I hated Triscuits growing up. I still hate them. So if you like Triscuits, you're crazy. But the cheese, I would just pull it off and eat the cheese. And then eventually I was like, oh, well, I need to stop wasting your crackers. So I'm just going to melt a plate of cheese. And now still today, like I'll just throw on a pan, I'll cut up like 50 to 60 grams of cheese and I'll melt that up. And it's about like 220 calories. And I know I can eat it guilt-free, because it's within my 20%, right? Does that make sense?
Okay, yeah.
I love that idea. I know the 80-20 rule. I never actually thought to apply it that way.
Okay, so like in MyFitnessPal too, you can change like the names of your categories. And so for me, I added another category. So you can have snacks. You can either change the title of snacks to 20% and then write the amount of calories in there, or you can add a separate category with your 20% and then write the amount of calories. So you can see how much, and like then you can actually gauge how much you're making room for that 20%, or if you tend to over the 20%, right? And you can look at that average and go, okay, like my budget today is 340. Oh shoot, today I did 500. Okay, brings some awareness, right? And then I can do something differently the next day. No judgment, no shame. It's just bringing awareness so that you can do something different and move forward and move you closer towards your desired results. And if you ladies have any questions on how to change those settings in MyFitnessPal, just shoot me a direct message and I'll send you over a video as well on how to do that.
Okay.
Sounds good. Thank you.
That one is definitely a game changer. It's just really helpful to like just have, and it's not going to always be perfect. Not every day are you going to be perfectly within your 20%. Like, let's be real. Like sometimes you go out for the weekend and like, then like maybe you're going out and you're having pizza and poutine or whatever. Then you can put it in that 20%. It might go way over, but then at least you're aware. Okay, today I spent way more than my budget, but you're bringing some awareness.
Yeah.
Miss Heather, do you have any questions for us today?
No, I was just trying to figure out how you got that 80-20, or where did you get the 80 again? I wasn't sure exactly what you meant by how you did that.
So 80-20 is just like so like a lot of people when they make a meal plan in ChatGPT, it's like 100% nutrient dense whole foods, like you know what I mean? So scheduling 20% of your daily caloric intake to non-nutrient dense foods or your treats or your junk foods, right? And so you're just taking your total calories that you have assigned and then you multiply that by 20%. So 0.2, and then it'll give you your number specifically.
Oh, okay. I
Does
think
that
it all
make sense?
yeah, I think I mean I think I'm doing okay just the way I'm doing it, but I think it all just falls in place for me for some reason, but
Absolutely crushing it over there.
I'm trying,
Heck yeah, heck yeah.
trying.
Okay, now one last thing to chat about before we head off is our monthly challenge this April, ladies. We are halfway through April, which is absolutely crazy. I did make a post today. I had to remove the leadership board because unfortunately the habits weren't syncing. It was only syncing with the task, so it was only telling me who was getting their like check-in and weekly their check-ins and their progress photos done. It wasn't syncing with the actual habits getting checked off for some reason. So I will be looking at
Where
that manually.
where was that posted?
That notification was
No,
in
no. Where was the leaderboard posted?
the leadership board would have been in the community forum, and it'll just
Okay.
like under it says like serious about change. Under there, it'll just have like this little gray leadership board. It won't
Oh,
be there
okay.
now because I deleted it, but that's where you would have found it, and then you'd
Okay.
see who's ranking every day. But unfortunately, it just wasn't syncing properly.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, in terms of the challenge, like this month's challenge was consistency with checking off our daily habits, getting in those weekly check-in forms and progress photos. Do we have any questions, any concerns, anything that we're struggling with specifically with the challenge that can help you help get you set up for success on today's call? Words are hard.
I
I don't.
have a weird question. Sorry, go ahead, Heather.
No, I don't have any other questions. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, okay, so I know that our goal for sleep is 7 to 9 hours of sleep a night.
Yeah.
I'm working on it, but usually I'm at about 6.5 hours, sometimes 6:45. So do I just count that as not like if I'm at like 6 hours and 50 minutes, am I still just zero?
No, well, no, you're gonna
Or
track
can I
how many
round it up
hours
and
you
say,
sleep.
hey, I got 7 today?
Yeah, like if you're at 6 hours and 50 minutes, like call it 7. Yeah, because I don't think it lets you put 0.5. I'm not
No.
certain. But yeah, it'd be between 6 and 7. So I mean, use your best judgment and round to where you're closest to.
Okay, and that's kind of what I've been doing, but then I kind of felt like I might have been cheating because I was like,
She's like, I'm
I've
missing
been
10
getting-
minutes.
if I get more than 7, I'm usually shocked. So, I mean, I'm in bed for almost 10 hours,
Oh, wow.
but I only get about 6.5 hours of sleep. Like,
So is it the
I go to
fact
bed
that you're
at
having a hard time
9:30.
falling asleep?
It's just I wake up with hot flashes through the night. Mike gets up and wakes me up. The other day I forgot to close my window, and then the trains were shunting, so they woke me up. It's like
Yeah.
so it's just
Ugh.
various things.
Mm.
I'm a reasonably light sleeper.
Okay.
Actually, I should maybe see if I can steal some earplugs from work tomorrow. I'm going in for lunch for my last I've had my last day, but they're having me for lunch tomorrow. Maybe I'll steal
Aw.
some earplugs.
Do it.
But-
Yeah. Yeah, that's a great plan. And then also being like setting some boundaries with, maybe it's having a discussion with Mike and being like, hey, my sleep is a priority for my health and wellness for me to set myself up for success. So my sleep time is between 9:30 and 5 a.m. or 6 a.m. or whenever you're waking up, right? And then please do not wake me up unless there is an emergency and the house is on fire. Otherwise, it's gonna be an issue.
Yeah,
And
it's. I mean, the dogs don't help, but
yeah,
on the other
definitely.
hand,
Mhm.
they're spoiled rotten. So
Yeah, definitely systems, right? Definitely having a few systems in place to help set you
Yeah.
up for success. Like obviously there's not much we can do if we're waking up from hot flashes in that department, but where there are some areas that we're noticing that we can control, let's see what we can do, and other areas, and we'll kind of pay attention to that and see what we can do going forward to help set you up for success.
yeah, I have been trying meditations at night when I go to sleep, and that seems
Amazing.
to help.
When do you
But,
typically fall asleep if we're in bed by like 9:30?
Oh, I'm asleep before 10.
Okay, perfect. We like that. That's healthy.
Yeah, like I usually fall asleep within about 10, 15 minutes.
Oh, love that. Okay, so that's not an
And then
issue
it's
there.
just, yeah, and then it's just, like I said, it's just the waking up through the night. So
Mm,
my Fitbit is only recording, like it records my all my awake time,
yeah.
as you know. So I just find that it's like, because it's like I can't really go to bed any earlier.
Hmm.
Certainly can't get up any later because I have things to do. So I mean, I really
Yeah,
don't want to start going to bed at 8 o'clock at night.
no doubt. And I don't think that that's gonna, I think we need to work on that quality of sleep. We're setting ourselves up for success for the amount of time that we're in bed. Now we just need to find some better systems so that we can stay asleep as best as possible throughout the night.
Yeah, and that's a challenge. That's a hard one.
So, what I want you to do this week, Miss Lisa, is I want you to start logging or journaling what is waking you up. So, let's get a good pattern over this next week of seeing what have been the most frequent things that are waking us up. Is it the hot flashes? Is it Mike? Is it the dogs? Is it sound? Like, let's just like pay attention to what those things are, and then we can dive a little bit more deeper one-on-one as to what we can start to do to really hyper focus and start to eliminate some of those obstacles. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that sounds good. I'll when I wake up, if I can remember what actually woke me up last night, I'll write it down.
Amazing. And then I would also encourage you to like put in your journal ahead of time, like putting it in there, like things that have woken me up, just so that you don't forget the next morning when you go to journal, like, oh, okay, by the way, yeah, I have to do that, right?
That sounds good. Thank you.
Amazing. Of course, of course.
Sorry for hijacking that.
No, no. Any ladies have any more questions, whether it's about the challenge or anything else?
Yep, I have two. I can't remember the number of calories I'm supposed to have every day, whether it's 2,000 or 2,200. Um,
Mm,
and also my problem is falling asleep because sometimes I'm still awake at 3 and 3:30 in the morning.
okay, so
I
first
do have some
question.
sleep. I do have some sleeping pills, and I found they were making me sleep too much. So I usually only take a half, but a half doesn't seem to be working. But when I take a whole one, if I didn't have to get up in the morning, that's fine.
Yeah.
I could sleep very well from 4 in the morning till 10, 10:30, 11. But unfortunately, that's not what life has handed me. Sorry, go ahead.
Okay, so first question, your calories. So number
Yes.
one, my question to you, I'll answer your question right now. Like your schedule, like your baseline is at around 1,700 calories. Now, when you go into the app itself on the main today page, I'm just
Mm-hmm.
gonna pull it up here so you can see on my end. On this page here,
Yeah. Oh, I
you
know the
scroll
app
down.
only allows 16 or 1,200 or something.
No, this is on Everfit.
Oh, okay.
So on Everfit, this is the numbers that you want to be following. So under nutrition, you see
Yeah.
that? It's kind of a little blurry, but under your nutrition goals, when I open
Mm-hmm.
that up, if it's going to let me, that will show you your caloric goal there. So you want these numbers that I've assigned you on Everfit to match MyFitnessPal. Have you done that? Have you changed?
No,
Okay.
no, I did. For some reason, I always thought it was 2,000. I don't know why.
Mm, 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 mm.
Because
So
I do work. I mean, I'm on my feet most of the day.
in the, why don't I see the on-demand section here? Let me pull it up on YouTube. So I just made a short little video the other day going exactly through that question on how to change things, which is right here. How to edit. So share, copy. I'm going to send that directly to you right now so don't forget. And then review this video and change MyFitnessPal to match Everfit. And then if I ever change Everfit, you'll get a notification like Lucy's updated your macros or your calories, and then you'll have that system on how to change it in MyFitnessPal going forward. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Perfect. And then the other question was falling asleep. So, few different things that are going to come into place here. What time do we typically work until? Is it 6 p.m. for you or 7 p.m.?
Most days it's 5:15, except Thursdays it's 6:15.
Okay. And then After work, what does our typical evening routine look like?
Well, 3 of the nights I go to the gym
Mhm.
and then I have to come home and have dinner.
What time are we going to the gym? Like directly after work?
Yes, yes, I
Perfect.
found that if I go home first, it's iffy if I'll go.
That's a good system. See, we rise to the systems in place and we look at the patterns. We go, okay, every time I go home after work, I'm less likely to want to leave again and go to the gym. So instead, I'm going to pack my gym clothes so I can go right to the gym, get it over with. So once I get home, I can chillax.
Right.
Enjoy your evening, Miss Heather. Thank you so much for joining us. Do not forget, go post your biggest takeaway in the group.
Okie dokie,
Um,
thank you.
you're welcome. Thank you for joining.
Thank you, bye.
No. Okay, so then we go to the gym, we have our supper. What time are we typically finishing supper around?
9.
Okay, there's a lot of time going on here. So we finish work at 5,
It takes me
5:30.
a long time to do my workouts. I've started to figure out ways to do it shorter because we talked about that before.
Yeah, yeah.
But it still seems to take me a while.
What's your average time in the gym right now?
Hour and a half to an hour and 50.
Okay, yeah, that's too long.
Yeah.
Where do we find that we're losing a lot? Because it should not be taking you that long. Where do we find that we're losing? Like,
The
how long?
warm-ups, when I'm doing the actual sets,
Mhm.
that's pretty good. I can get right onto that. It's the warm-ups.
How long is the warm up typically taking you?
Oh, 45 minutes?
Absolutely not. No. 15 max. 15 max. So that is the new rule going forward. Do one set of the 2 last exercises. So are the 3 last exercises. So you have like your tempo work, and then you have your explosive work followed by the hold. Do one set of all those, but that should not take you more than 15 minutes.
Okay.
20 minutes max if it's a new program and you're like watching the videos. But if you're following the same program and you know what you're doing, it should not take you more than 15. Yeah, that's definitely where we're losing a lot of time.
A lot of times I'm just slow at times. I just don't have the fire under me. So maybe I need to get that in gear.
I don't know how much, because like I'm very slow and methodical through my movements. So like when we're thinking about breathing and bracing, that's 1 minute. When we're thinking about foam rolling, 20 seconds, and then maybe you're doing a second thing for 20 seconds. So that's a minute total right there with foam rolling. Stretches, less than a minute, maybe 30 seconds there. And then we got our core, and then that should take about a minute, if that. And then we've got the next, like the 20 rep one, that should maybe take about a minute, maybe 2 max. And then we've got our tempo work and explosive work. So we're looking, yeah, that's under 10 minutes right there.
Well, the breathe and brace, I usually do a minute on each side.
It's adding another. Okay, so if you're doing the extension, it's only 30 seconds per side.
Oh, okay. So
yeah,
when
it's
am
a minute total.
When am I supposed to push and do more as opposed to not doing it?
During your strength training, that's where we want to push more. The warm up is just to get you both mentally and physically prepared for the workout.
Okay.
So the pushing is going to come to the actual, like the warm up is just getting everything lubricated and working and mind to muscular connection going. The strength training, that's where we want to push. That's where we want to increase our reps or increase our weight.
Okay, good.
Yeah. And then in terms of, okay, so ideally that's going to shorten up our evenings a lot. So like I typically set a boundary with myself. I'm very slow. I get distracted. I talk to a lot of people. I take a million pee breaks throughout my workouts. So like I drag workouts longer than most and that it should. So I totally understand you on that. And then I just set boundaries with myself and I go, okay, I've got an hour or an hour and a half max. After that, we're cutting it. So if I know, okay, I got to be out by this time, then I'm going to be more methodical with making sure that I'm not diddle-daddling or making sure that I'm really staying focused during that workout.
Okay.
And then, okay, so then in terms, ideally, so we get home 5:30, let's say we get to the gym, we work out till 6:37 max, let's say. We get home, we're doing dinner. Now, are we prepping? Is dinner already prepped and we're just like reheating it? Are we cooking a whole dinner? What does that look like?
A lot of times I'm cooking my whole dinner, but I've really tried to make them quicker dinners, like 30 minutes.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect. So let's say we got an hour between cooking, eating, cleaning up dishes, 7 to 8. So that at least alleviates a little bit of an hour there to 9. So then by 8. And so for you, typically by 9, what does that look like? 9 p.m. till 3 a.m. What's that routine look like?
Um, I may do some chores around the house. I may watch some TV. I may do a little extra stretching or some phone calls.
Ooh.
Catch up on maybe paying bills, stuff like that.
Mhm.
I'm not really self-disciplined in anything. And then
Hey, we
usually,
don't know. No, I'm going to call you out on that
okay.
because I remember that was something that we talked about when you first joined the program.
Mm.
And I want you to look at the evidence because the evidence since working together is that we have built self-discipline. We have shown up consistently in areas. You have been working out. You have been tracking food. Have we been perfect the whole time? No, who is? Nobody's perfect. We're human. But you have shown up consistently, you have pushed yourself, and you are someone who's disciplined. So I want you to catch yourself, and I don't want you to ever say that out loud ever again or in your head. When you catch yourself, I want you to reshift that narrative. Because the more that I reaffirm out loud to myself, I am not good with discipline, my brain is going to look for evidence to support that. Versus if I reshift it and go, I am learning to become better with discipline, or I am someone who is disciplined, then I'm going to look for evidence to support that belief. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So that is going to be
Right.
a part of your
Absolutely right.
affirmations. That's a daily affirmation. I would
Mhm.
personally recommend writing it out every single day. I identify as someone who is disciplined. I am someone who does the thing that I say I'm going to do. I am someone who shows up even when I don't want to. Reaffirm those every single day. I personally think that pen to paper is a lot stronger for you to start rewiring those neural networks to make it more concrete and a part of your self-identity. But like when I first started working out, I never worked out in my life. I never played sports. I did not compete in any way. And so when I started working out, I would tell myself I am an athlete. And the more that I told myself that, the more I would look for evidence to support that, the more that I put myself in rooms that would support that, the more that it gave me opportunities to then become an athlete. So the more that you like watch what you tell yourself, because it is so, so powerful, and it can either be the difference between staying stuck where you are or becoming the highest version of yourself. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
Amazing. Amazing.
Yes. Okay.
And so
anyway, I
with
tried to tell myself to go to bed at 11 o'clock every night.
Yeah.
And if I'm watching TV, usually it ends at 11. So I figure, okay, well, go clean my teeth, wash my face,
Mhm.
blah, blah, and get into bed. Sometimes I get distracted.
So this is where we need boundaries, right?
Yeah, that's right. And it might not be till midnight when I get to bed. But anyway, when I do get to bed,
Mhm.
I read for a while. And I also play soft music. And I go on, and I'm always finding on YouTube these tapes of beautiful, calming music and stuff. And sometimes it works, and a lot of times it doesn't. The only time I actually wake up once I am asleep, because usually once I'm asleep, I'm okay, but I will wake up because my bladder wakes me up.
Mhm.
And that's usually twice a night. And I seem to be able to go back to sleep real quick after that.
Yeah, so I think it's really coming down to your bedtime ritual or routine, right? We always talk about a morning routine, but we don't put enough emphasis on a bedtime routine. And that's actually what's going to set you up for success to actually do the morning routine. Because if we're not getting to bed at a certain time, then we end up sleeping in, then the morning routine gets skipped, and then it's just like this snowball effect, right? And so
Right.
getting really disciplined with your bedtime routine, setting an alarm every day that's going like you do when you wake up. You have a wake up alarm, you have a bedtime alarm. Okay, 11 o'clock comes, it's screen time is off. So that because, and again, if you're spending time on YouTube and watching different videos or like looking for new music, it's more screen time, it's more blue light that's going to disrupt your sleep and keep you awake longer. And so that was a big shift that I made. I used to always have my laptop playing something in the background, like Netflix or whatever. But that light, again, is going to keep you up longer. And so for me personally, I always have something playing on my phone where I'm not watching it. I just have it set to the side. I can just listen to it as I fall asleep because I just like listening to things as I sleep, and that's how I sleep best. So then finding those small tricks to eliminate blue light before bed, or even reducing blue light as closely as you can to bedtime. Having the reading is going to be a really helpful way as well. Maybe it's adding in some breath work. Maybe it's listening to a meditation. Maybe it's doing a nighttime journal where you're just like, if your mind spirals a lot at night, then it's just like write it all on paper. So you just get it out so it stops spiraling and keeping you up. But I think it's really just creating a routine. And so after today's call, I want you to think about what is going to be your bedtime routine this week going forward. And then I want you to shoot me a message and let me know what we're committed to doing this week in order to set ourselves up for success when it comes to a bedtime routine. Does that sound fair?
Yeah.
Amazing.
Okay.
Pamela,
Yes.
do you have like Spotify or Apple, like any like
No.
anything like that?
No, I
Okay.
don't.
Because I was
Um,
just going to say, because what I found, I listen to two things. One is called Nothing Much Happens. It's a podcast. And the other one is Sleep Hypnosis. And they're 45 minutes to an hour. And it's literally just listening to people talking, but it's in such a very soothing, you're listening to bedtime stories, essentially. And
Well,
that's
I've
what I have
seen,
found is helping me go to sleep.
yeah, I've seen ads saying about bedtime stories, and I was worried that I would think about it too much. What was the name of the other one? Nothing Much Happens, and
Nothing Much Happens, which is literally just the most boring stories you can imagine, but they're so soothing and you just drift right off. And the
okay,
other one is called Sleep Hypnosis.
okay.
can you
And
post those links in the community forum, Miss Lisa?
yeah, I have them through Spotify, but I
Yep.
can
Yeah,
take screenshots of what they look
just
like too.
post the Spotify link, so you'll be able to share
Okay.
the actual podcast, and it'll give you a link. Just post that. And Miss Pamela, Spotify is free. There is like a paid version for no ads or whatever. But then at least with Lisa's link, you can click that link. It'll bring you to download Spotify, and then you can check it out that way.
Okay, that's good. Yeah, because sometimes when I'm listening to the ones on my iPad, and I turn it upside down so the light's not shining. Then an ad it'll say ad free, and then an ad will come on, or it'll say it'll run for 2.5 hours or 2 hours or whatever, but then it goes to another one. I wake up with a dead iPad.
Oh,
So yeah,
That's
you have
why
to
I
put on the
don't use
sleep
my
mode.
phone for that, because I need the phone for my alarm. But I used to use, and I think I might go back to it, is Siri. No, not Siri. What's the other one? Alexa.
It's almost going to beep. Oh, sorry, I didn't mute myself.
Okay, I use Alexa, and I'll say play Weightless. Now Weightless is a really nice one to listen to too, and I'll just say play Weightless for 30 minutes, and
yeah.
usually that works. So I might go back to that.
Heck yeah, I love it. We got a plan in place.
Yeah.
All right, ladies, I got to head off for another call here that I'm a few minutes behind on. But before I
Okay.
head off, do we have any other questions, concerns before I leave?
Nope, not for me.
I don't think so. Can I have more calories, please?
Let's chat.
Okay.
And then don't forget, go post your biggest takeaways in the group, and we will all chat very, very soon. Thank you, ladies, so
Okay.
much for joining today's live.
Thank you.
Bye.
All right.
Thanks, Lucy. Bye.
Thank you
Thank
for
you,
joining,
Lucy.
ladies. Bye.
Have fun. Bye-bye.